Hey G fans, it's Ashizora here. Welcome back to day 2, technically day 3, because I'm behind again, of the marathon I'm calling the Monsterverse Marathon. Not a good name there, but I try to come up with something. But anyway, this is day 2, technically day 3, but I just finished, well, sort of, I just finished watching Conquer Island, which is the second installment of the Monsterverse. And this one introduced Khan to the Monsterverse, and this is his first appearance since. Oh, I do not know when the last time we saw Khan before this movie, because I've not seen any of the King Khan films. Oops. Anywho, so yesterday I started watching it. This is why this video is a little late. My bad. But I started watching it yesterday, and actually, this was the first Khan movie I ever watched because before, again, this was before Godzilla vs. Khan came out. I didn't like Khan at the time, and I did not see this movie. Well, I hated Khan back then, as you guys might have known, but I did not go to see this movie when it came out in 2017. And yeah, I hated Khan back then. I thought he was just gonna be. Well, I just thought he was gonna be better than Godzilla, but I was. Be, this was way before Godzilla vs Khan came, so it's pretty much been a few years since I became a Khan fan like I am now because we have Godzilla X Khan, the new Empire, coming out next week. So I'm running out of time for this. But anyways, this movie is pretty good, just like 2014, Godzilla 2014. And this movie just this movie is pretty much all about Kong. Well, because it's Kong Skull Island, it's called Kong Skull Island for a reason. And I think when I think it was at the beginning, there was actually supposed to be one of the main characters, was supposed to show like an image of Godzilla, but the director removed that because he didn't want that to be in the movie, which is fine. But anyways, they did mention the 1954 nuclear test, which is kind of like a Godzilla reference, I should say. But oh well. So most of the movie is kind of bland. It's just oh, this. Why did I say this place? What the heck? This movie takes place in 1973, which you guys all know. And this was, I think, this might have been during the Vietnam War. That, yeah, they said it's take place in the Vietnam War time. So there's a lot of the mentions of the war. There's mentions of World War II. So this is technically a monster movie slash war movie, kind of like what Godzilla Minus One is. But anyways, so I would say the story plot is it's alright. I mean, it's basically how any movie is. Just sometimes they're very long. Sometimes it kind of takes a little time for it to get get to what they're about to do, which they go to Skull Island and they just bomb the place up. And Khan did not like that, so yeah. And we all know that Khan in this movie is pretty much I think he's a teenager in this one, because well, I think he's a teenager. Why do I always repeat myself? But anywho, so they get to Skull Island. They bomb the place up a little bit, and they find out that the ground is hollow, which is like a Hollow Earth reference. I think they mentioned a Hollow Earth in this one. And they kind of mentioned the name Kingdom Monsters, which we'll get to hopefully today. Hopefully, I am running behind. But yes, um, I'm skipping most of this because some of you might have all seen the movie already and probably seen it again, but who knows? So a bunch of military stuff, trying to get to Skull Island. It's pretty much how it is. But once they get to Skull Island, as I already mentioned, they bomb the place up, and Khan attacks them because I think he did not like that. And I just like how when Khan goes after the helicopters, that scene was insane. Cause I think Khan was pretty mad. Cause that's his Skull Island is his home, and this one, and he protects it because he's called King Khan for a reason. But yeah, Khan in this one is the last of his kind in the Monsterverse because of the skull crawlers that were introduced later on in the film. And I think the big one, or probably much the skull crawlers in general, are the ones that wiped out his family. I feel bad for Khan right there. I mean, he's the only only thing there on the island, besides the other creatures that live there. But Khan is basically the last of his kind. There's no more Khans around like his family. There's no trace of his family anywhere. So he's kind of alone, which is kind of sad actually. I kind of felt bad for Khan that when they mentioned that his family was wiped out by the Skullcrawlers. And I think the fights between Khan and the Skullcrawlers were pretty good. And the characters, I would say the characters are a little bit bland, but that's okay. Not they don't do much. All they do, I think, pretty much the entirety of this movie is the characters get to Skull Island. The plan fails. Now they try to find a way off the island, which not goes well. Which does not go well at all because the most people are getting picked off one by one. Either they get attacked or they pretty much die from the helicopter incident, mostly from Khan. And now they try to find a way off the island, which is okay. And I think the Colonel Packard, he after the whole helicopter encounter with Khan, he kind of loses it. I mean, he kind of sees his comrades being killed off by Khan or by any of the other creatures that live there, and eventually he kind of loses it. Once they knew that one of their soldiers were eaten by the skullcrawlers, because that one scene where they're in the graveyard with where Khan's and family remains are. I think that's when at a part where he wants to kill Khan. I mean, he pretty much wanted to kill Khan because of the whole helicopter incident. So honestly, if I had to witness that, I would probably feel the same. That's just me. And they meet the Iwit tribe. Hope I said it right. Where they found I think a World War II soldier that crashed there. I think that might have been the guy at the beginning of the movie. Again, I'm skipping things because I am not very good at these, but that's just me. So I think the only thing I can mention is the last thing is that they find a way. They eventually the characters and three of the soldiers that have remained found their way off an island on I think it's a mixture between a one of the World War II soldiers' plane that got turned into a boat. They got working. Now they find their way off an island. Then things also go downhill, even though that kind of happened during the helicopter incident. So they and the big also the big Skullcrawler kind of takes Khan down a little bit down the first round, I should say. But in the end, comes back. He beats the crap out out of the Scarecrow, even though he gets his butt kicked. And again, he's a teenager, so there's that. But Con wins in the end. Their characters go home, and that's the end, as far as I know. Then after the credits is what they show they show cave drawings of Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. So that's kind of like another follow up. It goes, I think, it goes in straight into King of Monsters, even though the timeline is all crooked. Again, this is way before Monarch Legacy of Monsters, so even with Monarch Legacy of Monsters out now, it kind of makes more sense now. But anyways, that is my review of Concert Island. I'm going to watch King of Monsters next. Hopefully be back on track before then, but yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for Godzilla 2 King of Monsters, the best Godzilla movie ever in the Monsterverse, for me, in my opinion. And we'll go from there. So, as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles!